Well, it's a beautiful afternoon here in Bujumbura, and I'm really lucky to be here instead of back on the east coast of the United States where my poor wife is shoveling a meter of snow out of our driveway. But sitting here in shorts and a t-shirt working on this lock that Mantuka SNK sent in. Brought this all the way to Africa with me because I've been struggling with it for a while. We'll look at that key in a minute. This is a Gerda lock, made in Poland. A couple of unique things about this lock. First is the keyway. If you take a look at this keyway, you can see the pins fit up in that little slot, which makes it quite a challenge to get your pickup inside of there. The other thing that Gerda has done is if you look at the side of this keyway, this little slot is angled, making it very easy to get a tension wrench jammed up in there and seize the core. So they really put a lot of thought into this lock. It is a 6-pinner. And it does have anti-drill pins both on the outside where the name is, and the inside has no name, but it also has an anti-drill. Now if you look closely at this Gerda lock, let's flip this around here, you'll notice on the top there are some metal plugs. You'll see 3 of them there, which should be an indication there's something unusual about this lock requiring them to drill not only the bottom but also the top, and there is. And the best way to show that is with the key. Let me get a background up here. So if you look at this key, you can see the normal 6 Dimple pins, and then you'll see on this key there are 2, but there are actually 3 pins that you have to deal with. The pins are not perfectly lined up with the lower pins, and they're also not on the opposing side. These pins are directly above the other pins. So if you look on the other side, that's how they line up. So you have to be really careful when you're picking the bottom pins not to overset those top ones. Because I can tell you, they're damn near impossible to feel, quite honestly. They must have a tiny little spring on them. Works perfectly, beautiful lock. It is used, but let's see if we can pick our way into this thing. I'm going to try this tension wrench, and when I put it in, you definitely don't want to put it on the side like that. I learned that the hard way. It looks like it's free, but in fact this core is designed to seize up if you do that. So I just have to stick it in this slot right here, well away from the edge of the lock. Alright, enough talking. Let's get this thing picked. It is full of security pins, and probably serrated to be my guess. I have not taken it apart. Not quite in there right. There we go. Alright, I'm going to use a standard flag. This is from my Sauber kit. Very light tension because we know that they are serrated. And I'm just going to move down the stack looking for a binder so we can get started picking. It feels like pin 3. There we go. We got a slight turn on the core. You probably saw that. Continuing to look down the stack. I'm on pin 5. Not ready. Pin 6, very slight turn on the core. I gave him a second click and he seems to have turned just a little bit more. Now my pick is stuck, so I have to release tension. Of course, you know, the moment I start this video, someone's going to drive by in a gravel truck. Okay, pin 2. Very slight click. I've learned not to overdo it with this lock. It doesn't like rough treatment. I got a very slight turn on the core when I touched pin 6. Like pin 1. Okay, I got a click out of him. We'll stop with 1. We'll stop with 1 click on him. We don't want to push him too far. Okay, now here's where the trick comes in. I believe all of the lower pins are picked, and I've been pretty careful not to touch the upper part. The way that this keyway is built, the upper pins are really difficult to access, and they have a very light spring, really impossible to feel, and it's really easy to overset them. So what I've learned to do is very light tension, put my pick in and just jiggle like this and move it up and down the stack. You have to keep light tension though, that's the key to this. And you may be able to just jiggle those top ones into place if you don't get too over aggressive. Or not. Okay, let's take another look. Maybe I have not completely finished the 6 on the bottom. Okay, I touched pin 4, I got a slight turn on the core. Now I believe we're hanging on those top pins. So let's do the little jiggle trick now. Keep getting hung up back there, but and there we go. We jiggled that last upper pin in place and we got an open. As I said, these are damn near impossible to feel, those upper pins, but if you just use very light tension and just jiggle very gently along that upper part of the keyway, you'll eventually jiggle those 3 things into place. Anyway, that's how you open a Gerda lock, fellas, or at least this model. Thanks for your time, and for Burundi, for goodness sake, stay legal.